גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד, הנה מה טוב, שבת אחים גם יחד.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Those of you who are here, how you feeling? You excited to be here? You be excited to be with people? You excited to be here with Noah? All right. There you go. So those of you who are joining us by live streaming, we want you to know we're here at Temple Aliyah, and we decided, by the way, to name the synagogue after one of the members of the family here. And there you go, Aliyah. We are here. Everybody who's in attendance has a mask on. And those of you who are out there, we ask you please keep those masks on. When the family is up here and they're behind their plexiglass, their safe zone, and I am safe distance away as well, they'll be able to take their masks off. But if not, we are very careful about all of the safety procedures and CDC requirements and everything. Mincha service. Some people call the bar mitzvah service a Havdalah service, but Havdalah is really that service at the end of Shabbat in which you light the multi-wick candles, you have the wine, you have spices. This is Mincha, where every Shabbat we read Torah, by the way. Every Shabbat the Torah is read. Knowing that allows you now to be able to come and to be a bar mitzvah on that Shabbat and to be part of that tradition. In fact, this morning, we'll talk a little bit later, we read from the portions of Acharei Mot and Kedoshim, and we finished the Torah reading, and already this afternoon, Noah is going to be reading the next portion. Right? What do we learn about that? That you never stop learning. Right? That you never, just when you think, oh, it's done, we start all over again, learning and reading and sharing, and that's part of our tradition. In the afternoon service, people who are here who are over bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah age are not wearing a talit because you don't have to in the afternoon. It's only in the morning, the custom, except for the people coming up to the Torah that will be wearing a talit. We're just so pleased in this great, challenging times. It's nice to be together to celebrate, create joy and happiness and holiness. And I know Noah's going to be speaking about holiness a little bit later. Noah, you're going to come up. You're going to wear the talit, I think. Are we going to put the talit? What happened to it? The one from his great-grandfather, right? We just had that there. Yeah. Go ahead. Put that on. This is very special. I want you to walk up here, Noah, as well. This is from... It is from Melanie's grandfather. We think he's about 100 years old and barely being held together. Come on up. Now it's small, right? It's so you'll just know it's not designed for this age. It looks like a younger child's talit. Of course, we're going to start in our prayer book. Those of you who have it, we're going to do the first part in English, and you're going to be able to respond. Page 214. Page 214. And if you're at home and you're following along in our Lev Shalem prayer book, we invite you as well to participate in this responsive reading. Noah, you're going to take over and you're going to begin and we'll respond.
Okay. Joyous are they who dwell in your house. They shall praise you forever.
Joyous are the people who are favored. Joyous are the people whose God is Adonai. By the way, you can take off your mask when you're up here. It's okay. It might be a little bit easier for you. Go ahead. Continue.
I exalt you, my God, my sovereign. I praise your name always.
Every day I praise you, glorifying your name always.
Great is Adonai, greatly to be praised, that your greatness is unfathomable.
One generation praises your works to another, telling of your mighty deeds.
I would speak of your majestic glory and of your wondrous acts.
Generations speak of your awe-inspiring deeds. I too shall recount your greatness.
They recount your great goodness and sing of your righteousness.
Adonai is merciful and compassionate, patient and abounding in love.
Adonai is good to all, and God's mercy embraces all of creation.
All of creation acknowledges you, and the faithful bless you.
They speak of the glory of your sovereignty and tell of your mighty.
Proclaiming to humanity your mighty deeds and the glory of your majestic sovereignty.
Your sovereignty is eternal. Your dominion endures in every generation.
Adonai supports all who falter and lifts up all who are bent down.
The eyes of all look hopefully to you, and you provide them nourishment in the proper time.
Opening your hand, you satisfy with contentment all that lives.
Adonai is righteous in all that is done, faithful to all creation.
Adonai is near to all who call sincerely.
God fulfills the desire of those who are faithful, listening to their cries, rescuing them.
Adonai watches over all who love the Holy One, will destroy all the wicked.
My mouth shall utter praise of Adonai. May all the mortal praise God's name forever and ever.
Amen. We continue page 217.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה.
Amen.
בעלמא דברך חירותי וימליך מלכותי. בחייכון וביומכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בעגלה ובזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמרם מבורך לעלם לעלמי עולמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דאמירן בעלמה ואמרו Amen.
It's time for the Torah service and the Mincha. It's one of the first things that we do before we do any of the other prayers. Remember, for Aliyah, for you, we took out the Torah, we walked it around. People were jumping all over each other, kissing the Torah, kissing each other. It seems like a lifetime ago, doesn't it, where we could do that? So we're going to take out the Torah in just a moment, but we're going to keep it up here. We're going to place it down. Levi and Aliyah, I'm going to have you come up, if you will, and you're going to open up the ark for us as we all rise and we take out the Torah. Come on, Levi. To the larger of the red books. We weren't in the smaller one, the Siddur, for very long, but this is where we're going to be reading from the Torah. If you want to follow along in those larger Chumashim, it comes from the word Chamesh, meaning five, the 5 books of Moses, and you'll find beginning page 714, chapter 21 is where we're going to begin. But just to give you some context, by the way, no one's going to be speaking about his portion specifically, but just to know where we are, we're in the book of Leviticus, which is right in the middle of the Torah. Those of you who have studied maybe a little bit of Torah know the book of Genesis is about all of the introductory stories of Noah, about Adam, about our patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. And then we end up in the generations of Joseph. We end up in Egypt. In the beginning of Exodus, that's the story of the Exodus, of the Israelites leaving Egypt. They get to Mount Sinai. There, they hear the 10 Commandments. By the way, they're there for about a year at Mount Sinai. And they're building, not only they're getting the law, but they are building the tabernacle. They're designating the priests to be able, the Kohanim, to fulfill their role in terms of the sacrifice in the life of the Israelite people. And they're getting ready to leave pretty soon in our Torah reading cycle. And so now they're going to emphasize, what is it you're going to take out of this? You've had this experience. We're getting ready for the prayers. Like, here's the question for you in terms of those of you here. Like, why are you here? Now, I know you're here for Noah's service, but like, what are we supposed to get out of this? And the Torah reading today is this morning talked about, by the way, some of your favorite laws about you shall love your neighbors yourself. Those are the holiness laws. And today, we're going to be talking this afternoon. It's about the holidays in particular, right, Noah? We talked about that and how important the holidays are. Aren't they important in your life and your family's life? Passover. Can you imagine a Jewish home without Passover? Can you imagine without the other celebrations? That's what they're being shared now in terms of the life of the Jewish people and how it's going to continue. So we're going to get ready for the Torah reading, but in anticipation, all right, Melanie and Morris, you're going to come forward. Noah, you're going to come up as well. Come on, because your parents are going to share with you some thoughts, and then they're going to present you with a tallit. So come on up. Take off your mask.
Noah, 13 years ago, on this date, April 24th, this was one of the most meaningful and special moments of my life. It was a moment filled with joy, hope, and admiration. It was a day that I first laid eyes on you and held you for the first time. Watching you grow up over these past 13 years has been one of my true blessings in life. Your inquisitive nature, persistence, intelligence, and creativity is a source of so much pride and gratification for me. Your engineering prowess and ability to create and discover the world will take you very far in life. And your effortless style in all aspects of life is remarkable, although sometimes quite unnerving. While you may drive mommy crazy in terms of your procrastination, which was definitely on full display during your bar mitzvah training, I'm amazed at your ability to get things done and excel when the pressure is on. What brings me the most joy is watching how happy you are on a surfboard, skateboard, or snowboard, and seeing how you interact with your brother Levi and sister Aliyah, as well as your new dog, Buddy. Today is one of the most important and memorable days that you will have in your life. I want you to fully grasp the magnitude of this day, for you are embarking on a tradition that has been passed on for thousands of years as you become a bar mitzvah. The Temple Aliyah community has been instrumental in teaching you Jewish beliefs, values, practices, and a Jewish way of life. You have embraced your Jewish roots and have enjoyed celebrating Jewish traditions, holidays, and our weekly Shabbat dinners. All of the hard work and perseverance that you have put in over these past few years now comes to fruition as you become a bar mitzvah. This is a moment that you'll never forget, and you will always remember as one of your most meaningful milestones. Now, as you enter the next chapter of your life, I want you to continue on your path towards becoming an honorable, loyal, kind, thoughtful, responsible, and compassionate young man. I want you to live life to the fullest and cherish every moment of it. I'm so proud of you, not just for the phenomenal job that I know you're about to do, but for the amazing young man that you're becoming. I'm truly blessed to call you my son. I've enjoyed watching you grow up these past 13 years, and I look forward to sharing so many more wonderful memories with you. Mostly, though, I'm eager to see you fulfill your goals and aspirations and celebrate your accomplishments and successes. I love you, my little man. Mazel tov.
All right, give your dad a hug as he switches places with their mom, and she's going to share some words, and we'll see whether she can get through everything or not.
Without glasses.
Get close to the microphone. There you go, Melanie.
Noah, as I stand here before you today, I want you to know how much love, pride, and admiration I have for you. I know that the preparation for this special day did not come without its challenges, but you persevered, and I'm so proud to be standing here with you to celebrate your bar mitzvah and your actual 13th birthday. Happy birthday. For much of this year, there were so many questions as to whether we would be able to commemorate and celebrate this special day. However, it was imperative that no matter what this day looked like or what type of celebration we would be able to have, that you would be able to come up to the bima, read from the Torah, and become a bar mitzvah. This year has been quite difficult and challenging for obvious reasons, but as I look back on this year, I reflect on the silver linings this year had to offer. It allowed me to spend more time with you and build a connection that perhaps if not for 2020, wouldn't have happened. I am grateful for this time, as we most likely will never have a moment like this again in our lives. One of my favorite things in life is watching you interact with your siblings, Aliyah and Levi, a special, unbreakable bond. This is usually beautiful, but at times, extremely maddening. No matter what, though, I know the three of you will always have each other and will be there for one another. Noah, Daddy and I spent a lot of time coming up with a name that would be meaningful. You were named after your great-grandfather, Norman Eisen. In many ways, you remind me a lot of him. Like your great-grandfather, you have a phenomenal trait for never giving up on anything you do. Once you put your mind to something, there is no stopping you. This is especially true when it comes to engineering your latest invention or project, no matter what type of mess is left in its aftermath for Mommy to clean up. Great-grandpa would be so pleased to watch you up here today and wearing the very talit he wore for his bar mitzvah almost 100 years ago. It has been amazing watching you grow into this handsome young man. I love to listen as you explain with such enthusiasm your latest creation. Your cavalier attitude and waiting until the last minute to complete a task often stresses me out and has contributed to a decent amount of our arguments and probably a lot of my gray hair too. But somehow, you always get the task at hand done and deliver it when it counts. Noah, I want to end by expressing how important it was for Daddy and I to provide you with a strong Jewish foundation. But now as you become a bar mitzvah, it's time for you to blossom and continue on your own Jewish journey. I hope we have laid the foundation and you continue on a path filled with Jewish beliefs, values, and celebrations. I can't wait to continue watching you grow, and I look forward to the day when you actually outgrow your dad, because it is going to happen. I am certain you will accomplish great things in life. I love you so much, Nochka. Mazel tov.
Give your mom a hug. Go ahead. All right, so Melanie and Morris, now you're going to present him with the talit, and then move that microphone in front of him, and he'll be able to recite the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehi atef b'tzitzit.
Amen. Ya'amdu Moshe ben Moise uMiriam uMaital bat Avraham v'Sara Rishon.
Baruch et Adonai Hamavarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavarach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol hamim ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Vayomer Adonai el Moshe Emor el HaKohanim B'nei Aharon Ve'amarta lehem L'nefesh lo yitama Be'amav Ki im lishero hakarov elav le'imo laviv ve'livno uvito ulahiv ve'lahoto habetula hakirova elav asher lohagita le'ish la yitama lo yitama ba'al be'ama lehei chalo lo yikrehu korcha berosham ufat seganam lo yigalehu uviv saran lo yisritu saratet Kiddoshi Yehu Velohehem Veloyahalelu Shem Elohehem Ki Et Yishe Adonai Lehem Elohehem Hey Machrivim Behayu Kodesh
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torah emet v'hayei olam nata betoheinu Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Aliyah, Mara, and Leanne, if you'll come forward, we'll call you up officially for the Aliyah.
Ta'amdu, ta'amdu, Adia Margalit, Bat Moshe Umaital, Umiriam Bat David Umalka, Veleah Bat Moise Umiriam Sheni. Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Le'olam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamavorach Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Isha zona v'chalala lo yikachu ve'isha Yerusha me'isha lo yikachu ki kadosh hu le'elohav v'kidashto ki et lechem Elohecha hu makriv kadosh Yelach ki kadosh ani Adonai mekadishchem uvad ish kohen ki techel liznot et avihahi mechalolet ba'esh tisaref v'hakohen hagadol me'echav Asher Yutzak al Rosho Shemen Hamishcha Umilei et Yado Lilbosh et Habegadim et Rosho lo Yifra Uvegadav lo Yifrom Ve'al Kol Nafshot Meit lo Yavo La'aviv u'imo lo Yitama Umin hamikdash lo yetzeh velo yechalel et mikdash Elohav ki Nezer, Shemen Mishchat, Elohav, Alav Ani Adonai.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam atah betoheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Abachur, abar mitzvah, yamod, yamod. Noach ben Moshe umaital, shlishi, chazak, Chazak.
No, that's how we call a bar mitzvah forward. Move the microphone in front of you. Go ahead. And before Noah begins with the Torah reading, he's going to share some of his thoughts on today's portion. Go ahead.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. And do it slowly.
Shabbat Shalom. I would like to thank my family and friends for being here with me today, both in person and on video, to celebrate my bar mitzvah. My Torah portion, Emor, which means to speak, is found in the book of Leviticus and is a continuation of the Holiness Code. After receiving the 10 Commandments, we find the Israelites still living in the Sinai wilderness. Before they leave on their journey to the Promised Land, Canaan, God gives them laws and rules to live by. Ways to live, ways to organize their new community, and ways to keep their new community holy. The Torah says the children of Israel must be holy and observe the restrictions commanded by Adonai. While the Parsha Emor gives us many detailed and specific commandments that we must follow, such as observing the holy days of the year, Shabbat, Pesach, Yom Kippur, and various rules carried down by the high priest. For me, the most important commandment in my Parsha is the importance of preserving God's holy and orderly world. If anyone breaks God's harmony, God's holiness, one must repair it and make it right. Emor and its message of healing and holiness speaks to me for so many reasons. Let's just take a look at God's earth, our planet, our oceans. We must make wise choices to protect planet Earth, and we must all take affirmative steps to get rid of global warming. Did you know that there is a mass of plastic twice the size of Texas floating in the Pacific Ocean? After a storm, I usually have to wait 72 hours before I could surf again due to the polluted waters. The beach is absolutely filled with plastic and all sorts of garbage, which is a result of society not taking care of the planet. And more also touches me in a more personal way. I know my parents have rules in place to provide me with stability, safety, and order. But being a typical teenager, yes, a teenager, I often find myself challenging them, and as a result, there are consequences. In ancient times, like Emor, repair was carried out through rituals, like sacrifices. There would be quite a few sacrifices happening in my home if we still followed those rituals. That being said, the general idea still exists. Rules, laws, and commandments are in place to keep harmony, balance, and holiness in ourselves, our families, our communities, our countries, and our earth. For my Tikkun Olam project, I help raise money for Henry's Hope Foundation, an organization that rescues thousands of dogs each year. There are so many dogs that are abandoned, abused, and neglected that are in need of loving homes. We all have a duty to restore order and do good in this world, and we are commanded to protect those more vulnerable than ourselves. Start by adopting or rescuing an animal that otherwise may not stand a chance. Preparing for my bar mitzvah was quite challenging because I couldn't just wing it and deliver. I am one to usually procrastinate and wait until the last minute to get things done. I know this could be nerve-wracking for those around me, and to be honest, it also causes me a lot of stress. I have learned that I need to prepare for the future and be more responsible in life. Although this chapter, my Jewish journey, is complete, I will continue on my Jewish path. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the entire Temple Aliyah community, including all my teachers, Rabbi Adam, Hazan Mimi, Hazan Stein, Rabbi Vogel, and Rabbi Goko, who have been by my side since I started preschool here at age of 2. I must give a huge shout out to my amazing friend and tutor, Andrea Sussman, who has been by my side from day one, encouraging me and guiding me. I couldn't have done it without you. My family has always been there for me, no matter what. I know they will always be by my side. Thank you to my amazing sister Aliyah for always being the best sister I could ever ask for. I love every minute I spend with you, whether it's traveling to exotic places or our late night talks. Don't think I forgot about you, Levi. I could not ask for a better little bro. I love our late night video games when mom and dad think we are asleep. You are the best partner in crime in trying to get our Xbox back. I love you so much, and I can't imagine my life without you. To my grandparents, although I have lost both my grandfathers, I have loving memories of my Dada and Papa. I really miss both of them, but I know they are proud of me. Gogi, Grandma, and Baba, I am so happy you can be here to share this special moment with me, and I look forward to many more special moments together with you and all my uncles, aunts, and cousins. Mom, Dad, I won the lottery having you as my parents. Thank you for guiding me, watching over me, showering me with love, and always being my #1 supporters. I love you guys to the moon and back. While this bar mitzvah is certainly different than what I envisioned a year ago, this past year has made me appreciate this day so much more, that I could be up here inside the synagogue at the Bima, and I am grateful that I have my family and friends here to celebrate with me today. Thank you. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Hamim, V'natan Lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. Vehu Yishavi V'tuleha Yika Amana Ugrusha Vahalala Hazona Aela Lo Yika Ki Imbetulame Amav Yika Isha Velo Yehalel Zar'o Be'amav Ki Ani Adonai Mekadesho. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam, Asher Natan Lanu Torat Emet, V'hayei Olam Nata B'Eloheinu. Baruch Atah Adonai Noten HaTorah.
Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Siman Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, Siman Tov, Yehelanu, 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 Ulecha Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ulecha Yisrael. David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. David Melech Yisrael, Chai v'kayam. Siman tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, mazel tov, semen tov, Yehelanu.
All right. So you and me now. No, step up there to the microphone, just perfect. Whew, boy, I'm glad your brother got to let out a little aggression there with some of that candy throwing. All right, I think he thought he was Clayton Kershaw or something like that. A little, all right, Levi, it was good. I just want you to hold in this moment. Just look out there. Normally when your bar mitzvah, like I said, hundreds of people, and these are the most intimate people in terms of your life. We're mindful, by the way, you've mentioned a couple times your grandfathers who are not here, Michael and Dennis, mostly recently passing away as well, Morris, your dad, and their spirits are here. That's for sure. I don't know about you. I can feel them here. And I've learned a lot about you over this time, Noah. I've learned when you love to do something, you're in there 100%. And if you're not sure about something, God help us all. Right? Right? And so what we love about that part is when you are you have a passion. You do it with a gusto of life. That's why your father mentioned in terms of the snowboarding and surfing, because when you're up there, you're a living life. When you're working with your robotics, which you love as well, right? You're in there. And so the question is, we often think about what's your future? What's going to happen? And the truth of the matter is, you are who you are, right? You're going to have a passion about so many things. And the things in life that don't interest you, you're going to be much more casual about. The goal, therefore, is to make as many things as possible interesting. Right? That's the challenge of life. It's how we look at things. And isn't that how you've changed looking at a bar mitzvah?
Yeah.
Right? It's a big change. Most times when I would meet with a bar mitzvah, I'd say, what are you looking forward to? And they're supposed to say becoming an adult in the Jewish tradition, reading from the Torah, things like that, and they say basically the party. And that idea of wanting to do the party has changed now and forced us to think about the most important values of life, about family, about community, about how do we make a difference in life, and when we can't control life, how do we respond and make the best out of it? Those are lessons, by the way, that you can't learn from a book, can you? You had to go through it yourself to be able to feel, wow, life is different. And yet you stood here, you read from the Torah, you were nervous a little bit about it, but you're fabulous. You should feel good and proud about not just the accomplishment of what you've done up here, but the connection within Jewish tradition. So I want you to, I'm going to share with you a blessing that's been handed down for thousands of years, mentioned, by the way, in the book of Leviticus earlier on. It's the Birkat Kohanim, the blessing of the Kohanim. And it goes like this. Yavarecha Chanai v'yishmerecha, ya'er nai panav elecha v'chunecha, yisar nai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. Noah Stern, on this day of your birthday, on this day of your bar mitzvah, may you always feel the presence of God, to bring holiness into this world, to be inspired always to see the holiness and blessings of life, and to help bring peace. And we all say, Amen. All right, we're going to continue. You can stay there for a moment. Aliyah and Levi, you're going to come back up here, and you're going to open up the ark for us as we return the Torah. I'm going to ask you all to please rise, if you will. may be seated just for a moment because it's going to be the Chatzi Kaddish, and then we're going to stand right up in a moment for the Amidah, page 222, Chatzi Kaddish.
יתגדל ויתגדל שמי רבה, ועמד יברח חירותי, וימלך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחיי דכל בית ישראל, בעגלה ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמירה במבורך לעולם, ועמי עליה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי דקודשה. בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה, בשירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, דמירן בעלמה, ואמרו אמן.
We rise together. Please, page 223, as Noah is going to lead us in the Amidah.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avoteinu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzhak v'Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rahel v'Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor v'Chanora El Elyon, Gomel Hasidim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zoher Haste Avod, Umevi Goel Livnei V'Nehem, L'Ma'an Shemo B'Ahava, Hele Ozer, Uvoked, U'Mishia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Abraham uvoked Sarah, Atah gibor le'olam Adonai, Mehaye metim atah, Rav lehoshia, Morid hatah, Mehakel hayim behesed, Mehaye metim berahamim rabim, Somed noflim verofei holim, Umatir asirim, Umekayem emunato, Lishenei afar, Micha mocha ba'al gevurot, Umidom le'elah, Melech memi, Umehayeh, Umatmi Yeshua, V'ne'emanata, Lehahayot metim, Baruch atah Adonai, Mehayeh hametim.
נקדש שמך בעולם כשם לא שומש מרום ככתבניך כרזל
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב ביד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך לארץ כבודו.
קדוש, 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 אדוני צבאות, מלוך הארץ כבודו, לעומתם ברוך יאמרו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו.
ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו. בדברי קודשך כתוב לאמור.
ברוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון, לדור ודור, הללויה.
ימלוך אדוני לעולם, אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה. לדור ודור נגיד גודלך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד, כי המלך גדול וקדוש אתה, ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
The Amidah continues silently, either the Hebrew, English, or if you care, if you prefer the private prayers of your heart. Chazan Stein will give us a little background music just to settle and to help us inspire our souls. We continue silently.
עושה שלום במרומה, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל. יעשה שלום, יעשה שלום, שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל.
Page 230, Kaddish Shalem.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה, ויעלמה נברא חירותי וימלך מלכותי, בחייכון ובמלכון ובחיי לכל בית ישראל, בגדול בזמן קריב יאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעלם לעלמי עולמיה יתברך. יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ותרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי לקודשה ברכו לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ותשבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעלמה ויאמרו אמן. תתקבל צלותון והודהון לכל בית ישראל, קודם ונשמע ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלום רב מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרמיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו amen.
We rise together, please. Page 231, Aleinu. Chazan Mimi is going to lead us.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו פיגועי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וקור עלינו כמו המונם, ואנחנו ein od, al kenegam alaram. Kakatuk b'tortecha, Adonai yimloch la'olam va'ed, v'nemar, v'haya Adonai, v'melech al kol ha'aretz, v'yom hahu, yihyeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. It's a moment of mourner's Kaddish, a moment of memory, remembering those who have gone before us in the previous generation. So whether you're sitting here in the sanctuary or if you are at home and you're reciting these words of Kaddish, we invite you to rise, whether here or at home at this time, if you're reciting the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Those of us reciting the Kaddish on page 232, join together. Yit gadal ve'yit kadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. V'yalmad yivrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei b'chayechon v'yomechon u'b'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv yimeru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam ulmei olmaya. Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yit'aleh, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran b'alma v'meru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'meru. Amen. May God establish His peace in the heavens to grant peace and harmony for us, for all of Israel and all of humanity, as we say, Amen. You may be seated. We're finishing up our service. Noah, how you feeling now? Woo! For those of you who are at home and weren't able to be here with us in person, want you to know that we could feel your presence, right? This virtual community that connects us in these challenging times has redefined what it means to be a community, to be able to share. This is what we call a Shechianu moment. Shechianu is that blessing which acknowledges the sanctity of time and what this moment has been about, whether it's Chazan Mimi, right, who's in the virtual world, Andrea, who worked with Noah as well, who's here, and so many people. We just feel always blessed. So I'm going to call up Noah, come on up, and Melanie, come on, and Morris, Aliyah, and even you, Levi. All right, you're going to come up here. I want you all to stand. You're going to put your arms around each other. Stand up, boosting fires. I want to see you standing up, putting your arms around each other. Come on, I want to see a little love from the boosting fires. There you go. We're going to join together, everybody. Everybody stand up. Shechianu, join along with us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. We sing Amen, everybody. One last time, here we go.
Mazal tov!